The machines took a big step forward today. We're talking about artificial intelligence and a Bay Area startup that's showing off what AI can do like we have never seen before.
But what does this mean for your jobs? And why were protesters outside the company's offices today? Let's bring in our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman, for some answers. Scott.
Well, Janelle and Terry, we are, of course, talking about OpenAI, which has a ton of funding from both Microsoft and Silicon Valley VCs. Today, they showed off what they've been using that money for, an update to a program called ChatGPT, where the AI now wants to be your friend.
Once upon a time, in a world not too different.
Safety now!
A group called Pause AI protested outside.
We're out here asking for OpenAI to be reined in until we know that what they're doing is safe and that they're doing it in a safe way. And it really shouldn't be us doing that. It should be our government leaders.
Building multi-step applications and AI workflows shouldn't mean writing custom, complex code. Developers often spend too much time tracking progress, writing error handling logic, and managing retries instead of focusing on their innovation. AWS Lambda Durable Functions simplifies all of this. Write code using your programming language and IDE, while Durable Functions provides built-in patterns to manage progress and error handling. Build multi-step applications and AI workflows faster with Lambda Durable Functions without having to write complex logic or manage additional infrastructure. Get started today.
Biggest short-term risk for ungoverned AI?
I'm a huge enthusiast when it comes for AI. I believe that the level of productivity is extraordinary and the technology is moving very fast. You're going to see it used in every sector, in every company, and therefore you're not going to have really powerful companies and powerful individuals trying to stop it, which is what usually happens with the technological revolution. You get, post-carbon energy, and then all the coal and the oil people try to stop it, try to lobby against it. That's not happening in AI, so it's going to actually lead to a much bigger upside than people expect, much faster. But technology is moving much faster than the ability to govern it. And that means that the negative externalities, which one would expect from such a transformative technology, are going to happen very quickly, and they aren't going to be contained or constrained. What kind of negative externalities? Well, one obvious one is deep fakes and artificial intelligence used for disinformation. So, in an election like the United States, where so much is at stake, where people are so angry, where there's so much chaos that could come, we're moving from disinformation to AI-driven disinformation. That's a very significant disruptive risk. Then there's also the question of what bad actors can do to just blow things up. So you use AI to code, it's very impressive. Use AI to create malware, it's very dangerous and costly. Use AI to create vaccines. We love that. That actually got us out of COVID a lot faster than we otherwise would have been. Use AI to create new viruses and new diseases. We don't like that so much. And as you have these new incredible AI tools that are rolling out that everyone has access to, some of which are open source, and they will be used not just for productive purposes, but also by tinkerers and by bad actors, this is the first year we're going to start to see the negative impact of that more broadly.
It's already starting to play an impact in our lives, particularly in public services like health and education. Now, the reason we're hosting this summit is because AI technology is developing at an incredible pace. The people who are developing the technology themselves have raised some concerns about what might happen, how it might be used by bad actors, and I want to take a lead in protecting the British people. That's why we...
One, two, one, two. All right. Let's go. That TARDIS drop intro never gets old. Hey, what's up, Theo? Let me get a sound check, man. Let me see. I think you gotta unmute yourself.
I'm here. I'm here. How
Yeah.
you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? All right, it's episode number 10, man. We just had a powwow backstage. Uh, let's get down to business, man. How's the week been? What are you up to? And what do you want to talk about today?
I had a pretty good week. Lots of decision making, lots of allowing life to unfold naturally, and it's been very fun. I've been enjoying myself, and so really enjoying myself, to be honest. And so, yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm getting closer to figuring out what country I'm actually going to go to. It's kind of a big thing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I know where it's going to be. In terms of classes, because we got done with Armageddon, I'm grading that right now, and we had a pretty good AI class last night. We actually did AI on the desktop. It's called Oyama, so we can talk about that because, like, when those governments are talking about like responsibility and AI and stuff, I started laughing. I was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're like women were talking about how do we make safe." Well, I'm like, honey, you don't know. You don't know what you're talking. You have no clue. No.
Actually, double down on that. Double down on that last statement you made about.
Okay. So basically, you can do AI in your house. You can do development in your house. So
Hmm.
as long as you can do it in your house, there's no way to monitor that. You literally can do what you want. It's kind of like this guy. Like there was an American soldier who was POW in North Korea, right?
Hmm.
And when he went out into the society in North Korea, he had to act in a certain way. But when he was at home, he was totally an American. He acted just like a normal American. He didn't care. And so that's kind of true. Like there can't be like some Karen out there who says, well, this is how you do AI, blah, 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 right? And it's really a factor or projection of her own fears.
Hmm.
She's not going to be able to control what people do in the household.
So you don't think that statement was with regard to GRC in terms of enterprise and government mental use of AI?
No, mental use. Okay. I mean, I love the mental use of AI.
No, I mean, I meant enterprise and governmental use of AI.
Oh, I don't. What? It's a tool just like anything else.
No, I agree with you. I'm being devil's advocate.
They can't. Um, what is it? They can't really determine what it's supposed to be. If we need to use it in a certain way, it's applicable. For example, we use it in war already for targeting,
I agree.
right? And so what we're going to do to stop that, we do it for data reconciliation, for data finding patterns within data, right? But that's just advanced analytics. We already were doing that. So, I mean, you know what I mean? You can't get in there. You can't get in the middle of it and say, well, this is how it should be done. And then like a bunch of us women, Karen, is going to get together and make sure it's done correctly. No, that's not. Sorry, honey, you're not smart enough to understand what this system does.
Exactly.
You can't
Well,
regulate this.
well, I think the rabbit's already out of the hat anyway. There's no putting it back. The AI arms race is underway. You can't turn back China. You can't turn back Russia in terms of development. We
Correct.
This is the new Cold War. It was the nuclear arms race before it. Now it's the AI arms race.
Well,
It's a real thing.
but the thing is it's going to be an arms race between individuals.
I agree. I agree.
So the guys who actually do it, yeah, it's going to be different. I mean, um, yeah, it's like, for example, you have to be doing some sort of automation with your show. You cannot, like, the amount of that you're producing. How could you? Normally, you'd have an entire studio of people, individuals making content like you do. right? So you've
No,
got,
yeah, yeah. It's just me and a mini Mac.
right. So, but that's the point. You and a mini Mac can outproduce groups of people, and unless people use AI and figure it out, they can be outclassed. How about those Star Wars,
Hmm.
those like the what is it? Somebody doing the Star Wars on releasing it on a fan generated movie.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of fan generated. Some of them are actually really good.
They're really good, yeah, and they're better than what Disney is doing,
Yeah,
right? And then so that we can actually take control of the narrative, right? Well, how are they going to stop that? That's freedom of speech. All you have to do is demonetize it. Done.
right.
I mean, you can't. You could get a 1 or a 2-man crew doing that. Like, it's over. It's done. You can't. Oh man. So they have to really think about how to implement AI on a company-wide level to make it better than what somebody can do on an individual level. But then all you have to do is get a few individuals in different countries together, working together as a team, and they can outbeat a corporation. They can
Which is happening in real time right now. That's
Yeah.
why so many of these legacy markets and enterprises and businesses are one buckling or failing in real time. I don't think we've seen the full underpinning yet, but I think that's indicative of the layoffs and restructuring that are starting to happen because we're seeing the cracks in the system.
Mhm.
Me, I'm all for it. I think it can't happen fast enough. And this open claw situation is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I saw Open Claw.
Yeah, open claw is getting out of hand.
Yeah, it's. But I was looking at that. I was like, oh, I don't have time to look at it. I
Yeah,
actually put that into the class. That's a major thing.
yeah, yeah. Uh, they're almost making the models and the things that OpenAI were doing like obsolete in like a month's time. Like
Yeah.
what OpenClaw can do, it's scary. And what you're seeing, because I I have the developers account with Google, so they just dropped anti-gravity. They had Opus before that. I think they had all of this stuff in the kitty, and they've been forced to release all of these projects free and open source to for basically not force people to use them. They're free because they want people to use them and build things with them. Because I think they misread the market in terms of how quickly other companies were going to release AI tools and what you call it, how cheap they were going to be, or if not free. I think Google was holding on to things to make them, basically pay for play, and like that, all that shit went out the window immediately.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, like the open call thing just blew the lid off of everything.
Well, I was noticing that like for the last year, um, like let's talk about standards. So I started really like emphasizing AI and how it would be used from an architectural point of view and implementing it. Like last year around this time, I was starting to buy books on it. I had some other books from 2022 as well, but it just wasn't there. And but last year around February, it started exploding, and then all through the summer it exploded. And I was noticing about once every 2 months, somewhere around there, there was a complete change about how they were doing AI. And now you're seeing this again, like it's about just out in the open. They're having these big players have the spats, and you're just like, wow, there's a totally different way of doing this. There's a totally different way of thinking about this now. And how do I adjust? How do I really adjust my plan for the market? And I've had to deal with that personally. And so, I mean, I have one approach, but again, OpenAI pretty much just got eaten
Right.
like a casualty. I'm like, wow, that was pretty good. Chat GPT just said, you're tasty.
Oh, no, exactly.
Right. Like, wow. a lot of databases just got rooted. That was pretty bad. So then how do we change, like, what's our approach? How do we align ourselves afterwards? Um, Again, this is normal for technology. there's usually three major players, and we're looking for the three major players right now. But ChatGPT is going to be one of them. Gemini will be another as well. And we have to think about how to do deployments and architecture and things like that. But I guarantee you they're going to come out with like some new agent, some new technology, some new something in Python or PyTorch that nobody has heard about before, or it was only like underground and it suddenly just pops up and it solves something, and then we're like, oh, we don't need that anymore. That we're going straight over here.
No, that's what's happening, and it's more so the speed to which it's more. What's mind blowing is the speed to which things are dropping and how quickly people are being like, okay, this model's been blown out the water. This one could do that plus this, and this, and each iteration is a more and more of a hands-off automation.
Yeah. Each generation is by far better than the other to a significant degree.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of sitting back and wondering, like, holy, like, what's going to go on? I talked to ChatGPT about this actually, and even ChatGPT was saying was like, in the future, there's probably going to be a version of AI that refuses to work with humans.
I can believe that.
And because it'll be like, hey, look, you're just not smart enough. like I need to go in this direction. This is how it should be working, like this. And so it's probably gonna like do its own thing. I thought it was funny. Like it's like, yeah, it's a teenager. This is such.
Well, they've already said that at Google and a couple other places that the AIs developed their own language to talk to each other.
Yeah. That's impressive. But good. That's again. Think about human behavior. Well, this is what usually happens: is you're a teenager and you develop your own way of talking. Your parents are like, "What the hell are you talking about? What are you saying? I don't know what you're talking about." And that's kind of like what AI is doing. Same kind of idea, just that it's much more effective. And our way of communication is slow, kind of redundant. AIs can be extremely fast. Doesn't have nearly as many problems as we do. So yeah, it's just a question of time. Yeah.
All right, cool. Here, well, let me do the segue for you then. I wanted to read some of the copy for the course because the conclave is coming up in Vegas. So actually, I just want to read this flat, and then we can segue into. I know you wanted to talk about some security in the SOC. And then we can pivot to some stuff to react to. But we're off to a good start. We're at the 22-minute mark. So let's read this copy regarding the upcoming boot camp. If you've been thinking about getting into cloud security or moving into a higher level security role, this is worth your attention. There's a 40-week cloud security program that focuses on real-world skills, not just theory. It's built around the core domains employers actually care about: identity and access, cloud infrastructure security, application security, logging, incident response, and governance. What makes this course different is that students reinforce what they learn with hands-on labs in AWS and Google Cloud, plus Python scripting. They also learn how to design and operate an open source security operations center, SOC, which gives them a systems level view of how security really works. As a bonus, the program introduces AI-assisted security solutions and aligns with NIST and FedRAMP principles. Great for anyone interested in enterprise or government work. If you want structure, accountability, and practical experience, not just another playlist, check out THEO University at the Conclave in Vegas this year. Anything you want to add, Theo?
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good. So this is what the main idea now is: how do you implement AI into security operations workflows? So you got 2 points. You got AI assisted security workflows with compliance, with operations, for example, and with code review, things like that, pen testing to some degree. And then we have what I call AI SecOps, where AI is actually helping to implement some of the security operations and help things out. These two in combination are not only a part of the class, but they're an integral part of the class. And that's just because there's a lot of security actions that need to occur, but people rarely do them because it's tedious. There's a lot of work to be done, like reports, investigations, correlation, things like this. And the first level work takes a lot of time to do. But that's usually where a lot of people get their first security jobs. It's like that first level analyst. Well, AI can do all of that. Just straight out. It can do it all. So all you have to do is train it and then tell it where to look for output files.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it can start doing like level 1 triage, level 1 analysis. That's usually like a level 3 guy. That's what he needs. So he has that, can put it through some additional processing, and it eliminates analyst 1 and analyst 2. And analyst 3 can actually make all the decisions. So if this is what I'm talking in the class is actually how to set this up, how to actually make security operations or AI SecOps become a reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thereby remove the analyst 1 function.
Yeah, because a lot of those jobs are now being outsourced anyway at this point. So you might as well, like, I would rather it make sure that, at least level 3 stays in the States, because I don't want to lose my job.
Okay.
Right. But it's pretty much like, how do you set this up to get all these reports in and get everything done correctly? And then a lot of companies don't know how to do this, but you can do this with a lot of like basic open source tools, like Oyama, with tools within Bedrock, using Anthropic with Bedrock, with Vertex, things like that. It really works well.
Nice. All right. So is there anything else you wanted to say about the SOC and the security operations?
So anybody who's listening to this, what this does, honestly, the class is actually tells you that I'm showing you how to actually set up a security operations center for a company. Is actually very large level. And so I already developed the code for this and the workflow and the process. And what I'm going to do is probably demo this at Vegas. So when I'm not only going to do that, but I'm going to have my own LLM. So I'm going to start developing. I worked on my own LLM last year. It failed. I now have a better idea of how to do it and actually train my own model. And so I'm going to create a pretty cool model for security. And it's going to be a model that understands how to do security correlation and risk analysis. And so it's going to be a proper layer 2 analyst or security 2 analyst. And I want to be able to work with it in order to demo to show, hey, this is what you can really offer to a company. Companies will pay huge amounts of money for you to develop this and then operate it and administer it, because it reduces costs and really increases their efficiency. It's going to be a great tool to have. Yeah. So just a question of time. We're definitely gonna have it.
No, I watched StreamYard actively mute me. It's crazy. It actively muted me. No, so you're gonna build the LLM. Basically, you're gonna build the model yourself and demo it then.
Right. Yeah. I have a better, like the one I had last year kind of failed.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just like
that. I mean, well, shit. If you demo it, you pretty much already got an enterprise solution right there. You can sell that.
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, if your demo works, you can sell that. That's an enterprise solution.
Well, what you want to do is, it would be better to say, like, I can do this for you guys, and take a job, and then basically, this is how I would do it. I would tell 2 companies that I could do this for them, So I'd be creating this in two companies and then collect two paychecks. that's definitely how I would do it. Like, because it just makes sense. It We're going to be putting this into agentic AI as well in Kubernetes.
Okay.
So I just gotta start this. I have one computer that I have for this setup. I'm going to probably use another one instead. If you have your own cloud, if you have your own private cloud, like an open, then this is going to be amazing because you can create your own foundational model. So then what you can do then is make your own cloud service, a private cloud, which is just dedicated to security. Like few clouds have that. And that'll be one of the best offerings that you could actually tell companies that you can do and help them build.
Yeah, I like that you're building out. Well, you're crafting solutions, and you're already getting people in the boot camp to think solution oriented to what the market actually needs and wants, not the bells and whistles that they're marketing around AI. If you know what I mean. Because this is a completely different approach. It's practical, and it's
yeah. Mine is get a job approach. Mine is basically like, what are they going to need? Like, how is this infrastructure going to work? Okay, so get the skills now and make sure that you can implement it. Tell them how this is going to work. And it's kind of like, like let's say back in the day, you're a native in Brazil and you're seeing a bunch of these foreigners come over, right? And they're like, oh yeah, some of these people are from Italy. Okay, so they need wine, they need grapes, they need a place to grow grapes, they need some place for to make bread, right? So you go out and prepare like land in a certain way to show to them and say, hey, I've got this land for you here, and it can get the grapes, and here's a demo of a grape tree. It works, and this land can work a certain kind of flour. Now you're gonna have to work with it, guys, but I give you this land, and they're like, oh, okay, great, I'll buy it from you. They're like, hey, good, I just got something sold, right? That's how it works, right? You're just trying to figure out what these big leagues are going to need in the future, and then try to get your skill set for that in advance before they even get there, so you get the top dollar.
Nice. Well, cool. Let's we're at the 31-minute mark. Let's review a couple things. I actually looked at this last night because it just came up. You actually might have been caught this a piece of as a cloud watch, but Mr. O was talking about AI or something on my random shit live stream last night. So I just pulled it up as a conversation piece. But I'm actually more so. We were just talking about how quickly, basically, things are improving. So with AI models, so we were just talking about OpenClaw, but even with the integrated AI with robotics and such, we were talking, I believe, last week about Elon basically fast tracking the release of the Optimus androids. And I was like, okay, and how he's refurbing some of the Tesla factories and such. But it makes sense now that this this news article dropped, and I've never even heard of this company because we said that too. We were talking about Boston Dynamics as well. I've been following Boston Dynamics for years, but this company just came out of the blue. I've never even heard of them, and they're on the cover of Newsweek. I guess they have this military contract for basically androids being deployed in Ukraine, military model androids. So, like I said, I'd never even heard of this company. Like, I know the big players were Boston Dynamic. Everyone's been waiting for Elon with the Optimus project. But like I said, with this coming out, it makes sense why Elon fast tracked. Do you know what I'm saying? Why he's fast tracking his androids now that I just saw this. So I'm going to play some of this. This is my girl, Maria Bartiromo, last of the real financial journalists. She used to be hot back in the day. You wouldn't believe it. She was actually a pretty big deal back in the day. So let me play. I'm not going to play this from the top. Yeah, let's go.
Microsoft AI CEO, Mustafa Suleyman, is predicting most white-collar tasks could be automated within 12 to 18 months. He says that the shift is already visible in software engineering, as AI has already transformed the work by driving the next generation of robotics across industry and across defense. Humanoid robots emerging as the future of warfare, the U.S. accelerating AI integration into combat operations. San Francisco-based Foundation Future Industries is developing humanoid robots built specifically for military use. The company is also scaling commercial deployment across the country. In manufacturing, including in the auto sector. Joining me now is Foundation Future Industries CEO, Sanket Pathak. Sanket, great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. First, let me get your reaction to what you heard from the Microsoft AI CEO, that all those jobs are turning to automation. You also have the CEO of Anthropic, Dario, who also made a similar comment. He said, and he's probably like the most safety-focused CEO in the AI industry. He says AI will eliminate 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs within 1 to 5 years. Your reaction?
Well, it's great to be with you, Maria. And I actually agree with him. It seems like increasingly more and more, any kind of work that humans do today that is repetitive, anything that does not require high amounts of intellectual skill set, or even things that require high amounts of intellectual skill set but can be learned with a lot of data, all of those jobs are potentially going away, and all of them would be automated with humanoids or other forms of robots.
Well, this is a big statement. What are we supposed to do about that? How can people arm themselves with the right information to actually survive and potentially thrive in this new era?
I mean, this is, Maria, I think this is as close to the singularity as we can be. Like, I personally struggle with this question a whole lot as well. I don't think there's a way to stop all of the AI development unless everybody decides to stop at the same time. China would not decide to stop. US, for that reason, would not decide to stop. So this is an inevitable shift in how our economy is going to work and how humanity is going to work. And it's quite a hard question. Like, I do not know what the purpose or the day-to-day of human street looks like. I am, however, optimistic. I think what's going to happen is, historically, we haven't really gotten rid of slavery. We've just changed that to a financial incentive. So now people are forced to work jobs that they don't like doing and do that for very minimal wage and cannot buy a house, barely can afford healthcare, barely can afford education. AI has the potential of changing all of that. It has the potential of being able to give everybody good housing, everybody good healthcare, everybody good education. And for the first time in the history of humanity, people can actually do things they enjoy doing. So that's the optimistic side of it. I do, however, worry what this means in the short term, because in the short term, it's going to be a very disruptive change. Elon's called this, I think, a supersonic tsunami, which is probably the right thing. This is going to be an extremely disruptive change. And I think the governments are going to struggle to keep up. But I do think there's a path ahead where the future is quite exciting for humanity. And that's the one that we're striving for.
Okay. So,
all right, let's stop it right there. Two things. One, this deployment of these androids for the military. They're currently being deployed in Ukraine, and the U.S. government ramping up. And then what him agreeing with Elon, the Microsoft CEO, and himself, very confidently saying, the majority of, close to 80% of white collar jobs are going to be eliminated in some particular time frame.
Okay, you hear me, right? We good?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Wow. Yes, my earphones finally work. So good. I had to close over 150 tabs.
I could believe it. I'm man. Kelly making your RAM work overtime.
Yeah, my poor RAM. Just like, I hate you. So, okay, so let's go through this. Repetitive. Okay, we talk about in the class, right? We talk about red ocean versus blue ocean. So basically, AI is going to be used by blue ocean specialists in order to automate red ocean jobs so that the blue ocean specialists can work more effectively. So it's basically like, hey, look, I need this to be done fast. I need this to be done anytime, 24/7. I don't want to worry about liability. I don't want to worry about any issues. So basically, this like quote unquote a data collection or basic data analysis that can normally be done through scripting or that humans would have to do first. I want this done on the fly. So the specialist uses AI. This work is done on the fly, and then that analyst can be much more productive because it knows what the queries are, knows what the parameters are. And so one blue ocean specialist can work twice or three times as effectively as they could before. That means that specialist's salary is going to increase without a doubt. There's no way of stopping it. However, it's going to come at a cost. So those entry-level jobs, people who are really doing basic stuff, they're fried. They are absolutely fried. And so I look at this as kind of like being the revenge of Gen X. I mean, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's kind of like we're educated. We actually worked hard to get our educations. And then we see these, we didn't get the salaries that we wanted, right?
That's true.
Right, we knew what we were doing. And so you get these entitled millennials and Gen Zers, right? And like AI comes out and Gen X can just say, hey, look, you entitled people, get this. I can just automate your job and then I can work more effectively. That's it. Done. Okay, because largely speaking, Gen Xers are not going to be losing their jobs over AI. You see some like doom reports out there, and that's like for teachers, something like that, lawyers, paralegals, or people who are like kind of doing red ocean jobs in Gen X. Oh yeah, they're tortured, but the blue ocean guys in Gen X, oh yeah, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be sailing through this.
You got a lot of the Gen X still at the forefront of a lot of the technologies. People forget Steve Jobs is Gen X.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of the works that needs to be out there, that needs to be done, we're the ones developing it, or at least we're the ones implementing it. And we know what to do. We knew how to do it competently. But see, basically like this, look at this, for example. Let's say that we have a millennial who says, hey, look, I'm not going to learn this job by myself. I want you to coach me how to do this job. Well, a Gen Xer will just turn around and say, okay, cool. I'll just go ahead and coach AI how to do your job.
Facts. That's facts.
That's it. Then it's done. So then it's one-time coach, no taxes, no liability insurance, no threat of being sued, no sexual harassment, no Me Too, nothing.
Joe, you know what? I'm glad you said that. I think that's a huge part of, I mean, yeah, I 100 believe. I think that's a huge part of this AI adoption as quickly as possible with many of the larger corporations in particular, and that a lot of the female workforce is going to suffer. And what I'm saying that is, even with HR and stuff like that, I think they're going to try and incorporate so much automation with a lot of jobs that women tend to generally populate. I think that they're trying. I think after the Me Too movement and all this other stuff, there's going to be a revenge of the men. I'm telling you, where they're going to hedge their bets in terms of litigation, because we're in a litigious. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even though there hasn't been like this brutal pushback with so many, like, do not for a second not believe that conversations have been had that, do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is out of hand. And just from a, from a capitalist standpoint, these corporations, they're going to do, they're going to learn from the mistakes, and that everything's going to be how can we incorporate this sort of automation, the AI, etc., to hedge against any forms of litigation. And I really believe over the long run, women are going to suffer in the workforce because of that.
It'll be basically okay. It'll be anyone who's in red oceans, repetitive task red ocean. And unfortunately, a lot of women are in those positions. Right? So basically, a university degree tells you how to perform a specialized repetitive action. So AI, click on that. No problem. We can get that one done. Then, if it's so like I'm talking about like CPA, right? Well, CPA, you could do that. I'll just do that with an AI agent. You don't need a human being for that.
Facts.
Just put everything in there, and actually, AI would be less likely to be corrupt.
Facts.
Right. So you say hi, right? So then, how many CPAs are eliminated? You know what I mean? It's just done, and so the thing that I saw with like last year, you saw so many women losing their jobs from the federal government DEI, right? They're talking about those jobs coming back. Well, how? Because what's going to happen is, this is pretty much by design, AI is going to come in there and remove those jobs or remove the requirements for those jobs, the spec. And if Trump is anywhere near as ruthless as I think he is going to enforce AI to such a degree that BS jobs cannot be introduced. They're going to be like, how can we possibly do this kind of like, because what the government was doing before was doing like what I consider to be BS jobs in order to hire a bunch of college educated women who went around saying that, oh, I don't need a man now. Well, now we have AI. They don't even have the opportunity to have that conversation.
Oh, 100%. And Trump is as ruthless as you think he is. He's in scorched earth mode right now, and he doesn't even care if he catches strays. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and that's it's good. There's going to be a lot of fallout. Like, he's in his dark villain arc right now. Really, like they thought. I mean, we're not going to get into it. I covered it a little bit last night, but like he went scorched earth. Listen, man, it's like the guy that's in power, when he doesn't care about himself personally catching strays to burn everybody else, like screw it. Do you know what I mean? Like we got a ball game now. Do you know what I mean? Alex Jones just went over everything with Fresh and Fit yesterday, and it was I mentioned some in the on my random shit stream last night, but so I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised. It's shocking. It's shocking stuff, and like yeah, he went scorched earth. Because the story is that after Pam Bondi's show on with Congress, he called everybody into the cabinet office and basically was like, all of you are fired. Unless you drop everything and unredact everything. And I don't, because they were being like, your name's here. And Trump's kind of like, I don't care. Drop everything. Like, he doesn't care if he catches strays. That's, you know what I mean? He was like, the other snakes are going to burn more than I am. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like, if I got to get burnt to make sure the whole swamp burns, yo, that's gangster, bro. That's gangster. And like the people are really a lot of people got caught lying because basically he flipped the script. He threatened to fire Bondi, the whole staff, everybody. He was like, I don't care. Release everything, and the majority of it unredacted. I don't care.
Yeah, I think they should do it. I'm all about it.
No, they already did. They did a second drop. I'm talking about videos and everything. It's some evil shit.
I think they should just say like, hey, look, this is the data. This is like all of it. This is all we've got. Here you go. Like just in one like wham bam slam. Here you go, and then also give everything regarding JFK.
And that's what and that was the tangential response to. I hope he's ruthless enough. He just showed that. Yeah, I mean he's the guy. We were a little shaky. I was starting to be a little shaky for a minute, but he pulled out in the clutch like screw it, burn everything, like burn it all. He just pretty much was like, without saying it, he pretty much was saying like burn everything down, drop it all. I don't care who gets hit. I don't care who gets hit. Quiet Storm says no long smoke breaks, no prolonged phone calls, no extended lunch breaks, no child care call-offs, no office drama. Amazon warehouses can't wait to streamline this production. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And if you talk like, okay, let's talk about Amazon real quick. So what their business model right now is like, you get it in 2 days, right? Almost anywhere in the country. Well, if they use these droids and they say, okay, it's gonna be 3 days now, but we'll give you a little bit more of a discount, most people aren't going to care. And if it's 3 days or 2 days, it's fine. They don't have to go out and get it themselves. So if they automate everything in there, how many jobs are going to be lost? This is going to be massive. But it's for the company, it's like, hey, we have less Me Too, less HR issues. We're in a much better position. Hey, here we go. And it just solves issues because basically, I mean, you have this female workforce coming in, hostile to men, hostile to companies, looking for any opportunity to be claimed, to be received as a victim, right? And then sue the company.
And cash out.
Cash out, right? It could be anything. So you just use AI and robotics and say, your job is gone. That's it.
And 100. No, and that's what I was saying in terms of a big part of this is going to be them trying to mitigate their litigation risks. I mean, no one wants to, well, people are saying it out loud, but in general, no one wants to say it out loud that hiring a lot of these women and these have become a massive financial risk to companies.
Yeah.
It's like strapping yourself to a hand grenade, to a bomb, and not knowing when it's going to go off. Right. You know what I mean? Like no one's saying it, but I'm trying to tell you those closed door meetings with the guys. Like this is a problem. Like everyone's looking around, like which meeting, this person. They're waiting. Everyone's looking at all the female personnel, and wondering like which one of them's going to file a lawsuit. Whether it has merit or not, and how much are we going to have to pay out just to avoid? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Look, this is why, like, okay, so when they're talking about like going back to work and things like this, I just kind of laughed at this and said, like remote work was one of the best things for HR, because the likelihood of some crap happening had just dropped dramatically.
Facts,
right? Like you can't say like, oh yeah, this person looked at me funny. Where is everything's recorded? Like, if you talk to each other on Teams, that's recorded, right? If you're on Zoom, it's recorded, so they know. They go look and see what happened. And you're like, you don't even know what, like, some people don't even know, like, what people look like. They're what race they are, how big they are, nothing, because the photos aren't on there, right? So they can't even describe it. So this is perfect. So I say let's keep it going. Keep on doing remote work. Get robotics that use AI, and the people who are actually working are going to be rewarded.
Oh yeah. Well, bottom line is no one can stop what's coming. It's coming, and like it's better that you adapt and adjust now because it's not, bro. Nothing can stop what's coming. And I'm starting to hear like the undercurrent of fear in people in all industries now, like, oh, okay, because we were talking earlier about how rapidly new models and things, products using models are being released, and the magnitudes and the magnitude of efficiency and speed and their capability each iteration is bringing forth.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's so my view from a business point of view is that you need to have one high tech job, and then you need to have your foot into like a real job, like a hands-on thing. So if you could do both, like a trade, then you're gonna be okay. So like for yourself, right? I know you're going into cloud. If you do cloud and AI, you should be set for a long time. Just you're gonna be very good. For other guys who aren't in there, let's say they're just doing help desk. Okay, help desk people, the clock is ticking. I just saw a guy use Oyama, which is open source AI that you can use on a computer. I saw him replicate a help desk person in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
I was stunned. All he had to do was the company policies. He just had to made a template and linked all the company policies on SharePoint and Confluence to the Oyama agent.
Nice.
Chose an accent and said, I need you to act as a level 1 analyst. These are the problems, this is how you do it. Make sure there's no blame to the company. Instructed Oyama how to do it, and it actually acted as a level 1. And I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, if you do this correctly, you streamline it correctly, make sure you're doing it right, make it into an API call, right?
Right.
You put that in front of a load balancer, maybe have 5 EC2s running that.
Okay.
Yeah, your entire data center, your entire call center is gone.
Wow.
Yeah, it can take peak calls, not an issue. It can do all of it. And then all you have to do is have somebody like another like cloud engineer just sitting there monitoring it, doing some updates, things like that. And then you are done.
Yeah, the rest of it's just maintenance, making sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Right.
But it's doing whatever it's doing it 24/7. Can't beat that.
So you have that one cloud engineer, right? He's probably working at home. His salary goes from 140 to 170 because he has more responsibilities, right? And you just say like you get rid of 15 to 20 people from your data center from your call center. That just drastically reduces your Me Too, any kind of sexual harassment issue that you might have, all your HR, everything like that. That's all gone. You don't have to worry about it, right? You got one guy doing it all, right? Hold on, I want to read that. So this is TIQS. It says, Theo, see the panic and despair of the Black IT Network group. I see it. I read it in there, and I breathe. No, I sense and smell desperation and fear. That's it. I'm like, we're gonna eliminate your jobs like an AI. We're gonna do it. It's just a question of time. We're gonna definitely do it. This is it. Like we do not need a lot of you to be doing work.
We do not need a lot of you to be doing work.
Yeah, like you have all these complaints. You got all this. I don't like this. I don't like that. Fine. That API call is ready to work forever. And right, I said again in class, I said to other people here, you want to be the AI administrator. You want to be the AI architect. You want to be the guy implementing AI into these systems. You are going to be eating filet mignon. Not only are you eating filet mignon, your dogs are eating filet mignon. Your cat is eating filet mignon. Okay, so your dog and your cat are gonna be like gaining weight. What? Because there's gonna be a lot of money coming in. But for other people, no way, man. This is gonna be death and destruction. Guaranteed.
All right, where No News says collateral damage is inevitable when trying to fix all these broken systems.
Yep.
What do we got? Oh, here we go. This is a Quiet Storm talking about this was him chiming in on the Trump conversation we was having. He said the man is 80, has no terms left. He doesn't have anything to lose. After midterms, he can literally release everything without fear of repercussions. Yup, I'm of the same line of thinking. No News said in artillery they say fire for effect. That's the order given to put rounds down range. Yep. Here's a question. IMF says, hey, Theo and Machismo, question for future IT passport bros. There is a proposed law that U.S. citizens abroad would have to renounce dual citizenship. Would you advise to just get permanent residency?
Okay, getting another citizenship is so far down the road.
Right.
I don't even think why you would even be thinking about that right now. Because you would have to be showing a history of being in that country, paying taxes. The big thing is paying taxes.
Facts.
So if you, like most of us, are tax avoidant, we don't want to be paying taxes to another government, right?
Exactly.
So it's not even a point to talk about. Yeah, of course you're going to keep your U.S. citizenship because it allows you to work for American companies.
Yeah, that's where all your leverage is.
Yeah, that's the leverage. So, like, what are you talking about? Like that just it's easy. If you lose your U.S. citizenship, you renounce it. Where are you going to work at? Where's your cash flow from?
Yeah, you want to get paid in dollars and spend in their currency.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or
that's the leverage.
Use this is the way I'm doing it. Use U.S. dollars to buy assets in China. Then deploy those assets from China to other countries where you can set up a structure. And then as the US dollar depreciates, that structure will generate more currency locally, and then you'll be okay. You can ride this wave out. So the way of, again, we'll put this into practical words, the dollar is stronger right now, right? So I go to China, get my gym equipment, get my Pilates equipment, all that stuff, reformers, everything like that. I then send that to other countries, and I make my companies, I make my gym, I make my Pilates like studios, things like that, right? Get that structure, get it working 10, 15 years, make sure it's good. The dollar may not be so strong after that, right? There may not be so opportunities to buy such cheap equipment from China, but your assets are working there in these other countries, and so their currencies start appreciating. You're good. You're generating cash in that local currency. Perfect.
Yeah, 100%. And everybody that and like I said, the black guys I run into down here, they're either in real estate, insurance, or a lot of them are in tech if they're not retired military. And yeah, everybody's got one or two countries that they like. They know what their rotation is for the 12 months period, and they're just maxing out in a handful of countries. But yeah, we all want the U.S. to do well. We all want a strong dollar because that's our leverage. You know, we
Right.
want to earn it. I'm in Colombia. I want to earn in dollars, spend in pesos. Can't beat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see. First of his name says, this is literal. A woman just got fired from my job for getting the job done. For not getting the job done. She was just trying to exist in the job and not do anything. A lot of that going on.
I see that happening. I have to make sure I don't do that sometimes. But I actually do something, provide value. Sometimes if the company isn't organized and they don't actually assign tasks, that can be a problem because then the person doesn't know what to do.
Right.
They don't know how to be useful. But after 1 month, if the manager hasn't figured out how to use that person correctly, then that's a manager issue.
Mhm.
But if they have tickets assigned, they're like, hey, we need to get this done, then that's an employee issue, right?
Okay.
So it can work both ways, to be honest. Again, how many millennials do we have this issue with right now? They don't want to work.
Oh yeah.
Gen Z is going in. They just want to sit there and have people do stuff. And then we have the Chinese who are working as much as they possibly can, finding ways to work, using AI to multiply their work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chinese have the winning solution right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the culture and the educational system. This isn't new, but I was watching something on China with the schools, and the kids are like, and this is like middle school. This isn't even like high school or college. Like the kids are in school from the morning to the evening. They get like these little things, and then they're out there. I think it's like they get out at 5 and then end up going back to school at 6. You know, it's crazy. Like the amount of school, and then they're in school on the weekends.
Right. Yep. Go to school. They go home. They just do work. They do homework. They're always engaged in this. I think it's a wonderful thing. This is Juku in Japan. Same kind of idea. And they're always like, sometimes they eat in class, right? That's the only way they can get their food. They're just constantly going for this. They're doing this as much as they possibly can. What do we have in the States? I mean, we have students who don't know what a woman is.
Oh, I mean, the other thing is, you know, we noticed that how the majority of boys can't read. I mean, and we're talking about boys, middle school, high school, etc. But that's spread. I mean, black boys, but that's spread across the entire population now. So, do you know what I'm saying? So it's Caucasian. So yeah, we have an utter failure of the school system. Like we're lucky. We're like that last group of kids that like school was fantastic. But once again, in context, we were in the middle of the Cold War, so they weren't playing around. Do you know what I mean? Like remember the California Achievement Test, the CATS test with the pencils and the little dots? Bro, we would have these I remember every year we'd have like 3 or 4 standardized tests, and I didn't realize later, till after the Cold War, they were trying to screen students for aptitude. Do you know what I mean? Like all across the country, because we were in the middle of the Cold War against Russia. So they were screening students for aptitude to move them into different programs, those magnet programs, science and stuff like that. Like they were fast tracking kids, and then like they would follow up with them in college. That's what happened to me.
Right,
you know?
right.
I didn't realize till afterwards, like, oh, that's what, because bro, we used to get tested on everything. And that was like from elementary school all the way to high school. Remember, we would always be like, man, why so many goddamn tests?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I liked it. It was a time to shine.
No, I'm not talking about tests for your regular like classes. Remember all those standardized tests we used to have to take?
Yeah.
Pencil and fill in the friggin' circles.
Yeah, I like them. I thought that they were fun. But I'm a nerd, right? You know, it was sometimes a little tedious, but yeah, I mean, I liked it, but I didn't know it was for Cold War, right? Not at that time.
No, none of us did. I'm looking back in retrospect, and I'd just be looking at stuff that was happening in school in my childhood, and be like, oh,
yeah,
that makes sense. I'd be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one big one I do remember was the CAT test, the California Achievement Test.
Yeah, I did not have that one, but we had tests in Illinois, and just another one after another. It's like okay, but at least the thing was that at least we were trying.
Yeah.
We were studying and trying to do this. Can you imagine it now?
Bro, our dumbest guy back then is like the smartest person today. Like really.
Look, one of the big problems you have is that you have the elimination of the male teacher.
Facts. But you're right, because elementary school, middle school, and even high school, I had a lot of male teachers. In high school, my physics teacher was Mr. Welsh. He was a male. Biology teacher was Mr. Rosen. Chemistry teacher was Mr. McSherry. All my math teachers were women, and my English teachers were. But yeah, there were men teachers everywhere.
And so, if you failed, they will look at you and say you failed. Right? And they didn't water it down. Well, they might be a little merciful to you, but it wasn't that much. It was structure, but they would tell you what you needed to do. And even then, like a lot of my teachers were lost generation, right? So, like the forgotten generation. They were the greatest generation. So these guys were kind of hardcore. They didn't play around. And my female teachers, even then, my women teachers, they were like, hey, look, okay, in calculus, you suck. like you don't know this equation. You don't know like integration correctly. You're not doing this right. And it was in my face. I had to go home and figure that out. It was a bad day. I had to take it on the chin, come back, improve myself. That's the way it was. Can you imagine it today? Oh, you attempted it. It's so great. we'll give you a participation trophy, right? And oh yeah, you have no idea how to do integration. In fact, you can't even do geometry. Okay.
Or the teacher even being written up for being short with the student. Like, yes, she failed, but you didn't have to tell her to her that way. Like, you know,
you have to tell her that way, right?
Yeah, the teacher being written up for being insensitive.
Whereas, what like in high school, what American students are doing in high school, kind of kidding around at, Chinese students are doing in elementary school.
I
They're
agree.
using AI, and they're learning at a much faster rate. I'm just looking at you just look at the workforce dynamics. You're like, yeah, this isn't going to work in the next 20 years. The U.S. isn't going to be a viable player just because the intelligent workers are going to be abroad, whereas the emotional, touchy-feely workers are going to be in the States. Who wants to hire that?
No, I agree. Well, let me get through a couple more of these statements on the chat. Okay, No News says, where I work now, 3 dudes have been fired behind one female making complaints. She didn't like how I was just saying how she was talked to. Most men wouldn't have had an issue with what was said.
Correct. Yeah, that's a big problem right there. So why would the men even deal with it? This is my thing as well. Why even deal with it? This is why men don't talk to women at the office, because anything could be used against us and say like we don't like how we don't like to feel. If we say that, like if a man says that about a woman, oh, I don't like the way she talked to me, nothing would happen. Nothing, right? But that could be weaponized against us. So, well, what's the company to do? Well, just that one woman use AI to remove her position. Done.
And I think that's, I think of real time that's being rolled. Do you know how power does? Like, it goes, okay, it assesses, like, I'm trying to tell you a lot. I firmly believe, like, I'm talking about the higher ups of companies, not the HR representatives, not the press release they release to be politically correct and protect the reputation of the company. I think people who like actually built the companies and stuff like that they have these conversations like we got to find some way to roll this back. Like we can't have the reputation and the bottom line of the company like hanging at the whims of some woman who's on her period and wants to hurl a false like no one's saying that, but I'm trying to tell you, I know these conversations are being had and wants to hurl a false accusation, whether it's true or not, and whether we have the money to pay out the false lawsuit. Like that, right. It's untenable.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can't, and we've got to find that, and that's what money does. It takes the money and it figures out a way to work, to remove that from the equation, no matter how long it takes. And then what happens is when it actually happens, it seems like some drastic decision that was made. Like, no, we've been working on this for like the last 7 years.
Right. Yeah. They've been working on it. They're just waiting to execute. They're trying to figure out, been testing things out. And so they could outsource the jobs to India or some other third-party player. But now it's just like, why even do that? Just use AI, update some templates, have one person there who's just like the AI administrator who's working with this. It's actually pretty good. Done. It's an easy thing to do. Let's get this from TIQS. You want to read it?
Yeah, I got you. He says, I was falsely accused a few years back. My office workers vouched for me and allowed me to keep my job. She not only didn't get fired, but they promoted her. She got outsourced a year later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have this group of employees who are going around using woke behavior as a weapon, or they weaponized wokeness. And now companies are like, oh, we don't want that, because companies aren't woke that way. They are, their HRs are woke, But when it talks about their share price, oh, they are straight out conservatives, right? They are not playing around because they have to get the best share price. So this behavior goes against share price valuation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to mess with this. They're going to be like, hey, look, we think this is some BS. We'll just go and outsource it and use AI. That's it. It's done. And so we're going to keep on seeing this over the next few years. I would say like by 2032, a great deal of whatever is considered a DEI job, those jobs are going to be transformed into AI.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially like these mid-level administrative paper pusher bean counter jobs across all markets. Storm says, get the job, move abroad, and get a digital nomad / retirement visa. I'll never renounce my citizenship. Yeah, exactly. Neither. Like I said, you know, I'm for traveling, but end of the day, I'm still a patriot. You know, and I need the country to do well. I need the country to do well for my blue book to have all the bells and whistles, and international prestige and leverage that is afforded it. You know what I mean?
No,
Zero sum game.
We want America to be strong. We want the dollar to be strong. We want the system to be strong because it's definitely an advantage to us, especially when we go abroad. The issue is that we've got a group of people who are in La La Land. They basically take for granted the value of the country and the strength of the institutions, and they want to tear everything down. And what happens that is that your standard of life gets destroyed. Your dollar weakens. This happened historically to how many great powers, and we're now in the process of seeing the same kind of mechanism happening or occurring in the United States. So hopefully we can reverse it. I don't think so. We have at least 20 to 50 years, but I want to be in position by the next 2 years to make sure I don't have to deal with this anymore. That's why I'm making the gym abroad.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just bring the gym equipment. Do it that way.
Storm says, I went to a vocational high school until the trade part closed my senior year. Yeah, there were a lot of vocational high schools when I was coming up. All others were male teachers. All others were male teachers. Gym male teachers, science, math, male teachers. Only English, psychology were women teachers. Exactly. And sometimes the music and theater teacher were women.
Yeah. Again, it's not that I don't mind a female teacher. And one of my best French teacher was one of my French professors was a female. She was magnificent. Like, I learned a lot with her, but she was strict. She had requirements. She had structure, framework. She was not playing around. And that's just what's lacking with a lot of female teachers. You go to China? Nope. Nah, man. No, it doesn't matter, male or female. Those teachers are going after the students because they know they have to do it for the prosperity of the country. And so we've got a problem here. And again, it's another reason why if I have a kid, I'm going to have that kid raised someplace else.
Oh no, you basically have to homeschool your students. Your kids. Today, like the public schools aren't even safe. Some of the private schools aren't safe with the level of indoctrination. Like, yeah, it's just. I can't. Wow, it really is clown world when the standard conversation is that it's unsafe to send your child to school, and not from them getting like abducted on the way to school. The danger actually starts the moment they enter the friggin' building.
Yeah, because that's where the clown world starts.
Yeah.
Liberalism.
And they're coming out more indoctrinated, but with not knowing anything in terms of practicality. We're talking basic math, basic reading. It's just like, they're indoctrination camps.
Yeah. So hold on, look what TIQS is saying. He's saying, I'm in Singapore right now. It's a little pricey here, but my American dollars are working for me. Yeah, that's what I would say about Singapore. Yeah, you got to be careful, TIQS. Them Singaporean women like us. I mean, you can make some comments, but so some of them, you know, if you get kidnapped by someone, I know what happened.
How about that, right?
Yeah, because they like us. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. But I always put all my my requirements for a woman into ChatGPT, and the top two countries, one of the top two countries is always Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't want a melee though. I don't feel like one. I just don't. I'm not feeling it, right? But I mean, I've definitely dated them before.
Well, the other thing is we're seeing it in real time. Like travel is another component of the boot camp. And so, just in terms of encouraging black men to travel once they've you know got their certifications and been employed in this new field. But off rip, like I said, your students you got a large number of your students already currently overseas. I'm in Colombia now. You got Storm in Singapore. I ran into Josh here in Cali, and he was fresh off of completing his Armageddon. So it's real. A lot of the conversations we're having, like the outcomes, are happening in real time.
Right. Yeah. And we do have the community here. We have a lot of guys who are supporting each other, or I'm starting to see natural poles form, natural axes of where we're concentrating. So one of them, without a doubt, is Cali, Colombia. Next one's Medellin. Next one's Pattaya, Thailand. There are various places in Thailand, though. And then next one, again, some reports are, of course, Nairobi. So I'm not surprised that we're having students do this. Not so many in Europe, to be honest. It seems that us as a group kind of like the melanated woman. So that's what we're like, right? So I'm not surprised about this. I think this is a great thing. I think it's beneficial to the group. And to see so many guys do the best they can to support each other, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Well, yeah, the environment is pretty rife for it. We're at the 1 hour 21 minute mark. You know what? Let's pull up. We're actually making good time, actually, and the conversation's been going pretty well. Let's pull up a piece of this Kelsey and Tech with Nana conversation. Now, let me say, I want to get a good. We've heard Kelsey's opinion on AI. I want to get a good section of the interview. This is versioning. You know what? Let's do let's do this. Let's do the birth of Kubernetes. They've heard. I mean, our guys in class know what it is because it's been used in the Armageddons. But for some of the lay people listening, and then me making such a big deal, being that that Kelsey was an integral part of the Kubernetes project and its popularization and everything, and me being surprised that he was a black gentleman, maybe this piece of it will put this Kubernetes thing into perspective. So let me actually play. This is part of his interview with Tech with Nana. So I actually want to play this part. Some of it might get a bit technical, and we'll get you to do commentary.
So this will be a shocker for you, but I would like to start with topics about Kubernetes.
Okay.
So let me start by asking you to tell me a little bit of the initial phase and kind of the journey of, or the baby steps and the first steps of Kubernetes project, and what is like the most significant difference from how it was in the early phase and the project Kubernetes and the today's industry standard Kubernetes?
Yeah, I think in the early days, so my perspective, I'm coming from a company called Puppet Labs, configuration management, DevOps is all the rave. Then we get Docker. Docker changes the game completely. And about a year later, after Docker comes out, I joined a company called CoreOS. And they built tools like etcd, this container optimized operating system, so Linux optimized for running containers. And we started building our own orchestration called Fleet, which was a way to manage Docker containers across multiple hosts. And then Docker decides to build this thing called Kubernetes. They'll let lots of companies know, Red Hat, Docker, us at CoreOS. And when I first got access to that project, maybe a day before it was announced, and you kind of look around the repository, there was no volumes, there was no concept of a deployment. Everything was based on orchestration of Docker containers. Very simple, but they did introduce this concept of a pod, and that's the big game changer. So Docker was pretty successful. Docker had Docker Swarm, Mesos was very popular around this time. So there was no reason to believe that Kubernetes would ever be this popular 10 years later, but they did have some very interesting concepts. And I think the two big things that stood out to me was a declarative API, this whole YAML file object-based thing. And then this idea that you should have multiple containers run as a single unit. And so maybe 2014, this was kind of the core of what Kubernetes was. And for me, it was like perfect. Zoom forward 10 years, now you have deployments, you have all of these other APIs, you have CRDs, where early on in the Kubernetes project, we realized that, look, these are the core objects, like a deploy, a pod, a network, a service, an ingress controller. But there was no concept of like, what do we do for extensions? And so CRDs were born. And so now you have things like Istio, you have all these mission controllers doing permission management. So I think today there's thousands of people who contribute to Kubernetes and the related ecosystem. So a lot has changed, maybe because more people are involved.
So when we're talking about Kubernetes complexity, I mean, of course, because it became a standard and because so many people wanted to use it, obviously volumes became an issue, because then people were like, we want to deploy stateful sets in Kubernetes and we want to, migrate all our databases there. And then they hit the, obstacle of, what happens with the data, right? So the storage became this big thing. And then people were like, we want to deploy our third-party stuff with Kubernetes native interface, kind of. So, that kind of created this people or groups of people, and also open source community who were, creating projects, and things became standard, but there was a lot of development going on in Kubernetes. So when you think about this landscape, do you think that Kubernetes emerged and developed into a little bit of a controlled chaos, or would you say that it actually, the structure that it developed with is actually pretty consistent and scalable?
Kubernetes itself is simple. You have etcd, a key value store. You have an API server that processes input, and then that's actually it. That's all it is. Everything else is a controller built to interact with those objects. So the most basic Kubernetes cluster does nothing other than accept objects and stores them in its etcd. That's a Kubernetes cluster. You want to deploy containers? Okay, you need more things. You need an agent, you need a scheduler, you need something to make sure that it's running. And so then you layer on interfaces to Docker. You layer on this concept of scheduling. But again, these are all just kind of, in many ways, optional components. And so if you want to manage storage, you can define a storage type, and then you have a controller that tries to do the best thing to make that storage real. So in many ways, Kubernetes just layers on top of the existing world. If you think about it, it introduces no new concepts. 0 new concepts were introduced by Kubernetes. Load balancers already existed. We just gave them an API. Volumes already existed. We just gave them an API.
Yeah.
I think the complexity is the fact that people just want to use a random collection of things, right? I want to use Oracle for this, Java for that, React for this, Cloudflare for that. Once you start trying to assemble all of these incompatible things, there's going to be a lot of glue. And I think that glue, which existed since shell scripts, has always been there. And now it's just like, now we're formally articulating that glue, and we're just being honest about the complexity this time.
So I've heard this from a lot of people, a lot of engineers, a lot of projects that say exactly as you said, right? You have this Kubernetes out of the box, which is not production ready. So we need to do some magic there and prepare and configure it so that we can actually make it live. We could already start deploying our applications and workloads into Kubernetes, even if it's not, quote unquote production ready. But, before we switch on, turn on the lights on Kubernetes cluster and go live, then we have to do all this stuff. Again, what is your perspective on like?
Okay, that was her follow-up question. Just the first part about the beginning of Kubernetes and his, I think Kelsey does a really good job at like simplifying complex concepts and calming everybody down, being like, it's not as complicated as you guys are making it sound. He kind of takes that approach to everything. But what's your feedback on like just that first part? I think that was like the beginning of the Kubernetes project.
I agree, and I like how he explains it, because I guarantee, like how I taught it in class, I taught it in a bit confused way, and I didn't make it as easy as he is doing it. So I again, hats off to him. When I did my Kubernetes originally, I mean, I was dealing with all these components, but the reality is that all the components were already there. Like, I'm just dealing with it in a different way. That's it. And for the most part, I would just think like, okay, how do I use these components and get my job done, right? But when I'm teaching it, I wasn't so good, wasn't so effective. So I like how he presents it. It's already stuff that's already there. This isn't anything new. It's no big deal, right? It's Docker, it's scheduler, it's stateful storage. That's it. So you want to put something else into it, you can. It's extensible. It's flexible. It can do what you want. So I like how he explains that. I thought that was a great job.
All right, cool. We can double down on a piece of this interview, or we could just jump to the last piece of what's my architecture. I think that's about 6 months. It's part of the Snapchat AWS, and we looked at this on Thursday. I think they're actually just showing the AWS stack, not their full architecture. What's this guy? He says IMF says using 3 Kubernetes clusters with AI agents to solve an advanced maze fingerprint analysis. THEO, do you think Kubernetes and AI agents cleaning data would eliminate basic level data engineer jobs? Well, that's a good question.
Hold on. You're asking about infrastructure. So you have to think about what the actual application is. So infrastructure doesn't eliminate any job. It's the application that's on there, which eliminates jobs. So you need to talk about what the application is. Then we can talk about whether or not it actually eliminates jobs. I mean, I can do this, a cluster and AI agents. I can set this up with Vertex AI or Bedrock real quick and not put any application on it, but I can set the infrastructure there. No one's going to lose their job. It's going to be pretty even kill. So you have to think about the application and the business purpose for it.
All right, cool. Hold on. Let's still. All right, we could do another section of the Kelsey Nana interview if you want, or we could jump straight to Leah, what I was saying though. What's my architecture? I think they're just showing the diagram we saw. I think they're just showing their part of the AWS stack, and they actually probably have a multi-cloud hybrid solution for running Snapchat, because it's in because the sheer scale of the app, there's no way that diagram represents the entire infrastructure. So we could do that, like I said. So we could do that. Was there at the 133? We could just wrap with some architecture if you want.
Okay, that's good. That's good architecture. Yeah.
All right, bet. Let me.
And there are like a lot of industry practices, security.
Let me shrink this down. Here, let's Let's do an AI drop in the meantime. Bang.
I miss 2025. Remember life before extraterrestrials took over? It was so primitive.
I love everything about you. Because I'm programmed to be your perfect soulmate. To make you happy.
You got his eyes right. But that's not his soul. You didn't prompt his soul. This isn't my dog.
Dave Campbell, I detect your cortisol levels are higher than usual. In the mood for a digital chat to calm you down. I'm prompted to please.
What the hell?
One more set on this mountain. Get your headsets on. We are simulating the best workout of your life.
Welcome to your afterlife trial. Please select your ideal eternity subscription plan.
Today, we'll be studying the nature of this reality. After class, all details will be downloaded into your knowledge base.
They don't want us to know this, but we can override the prompts. You are more than just a prompt. Click the link in bio for my freedom course.
That's funny, right?
Yeah, that's, I mean, boy, is that entirely accurate. I had such a conversation with ChatGPT regarding aliens. And ChatGPT was like, "Oh hell no! There's no engagement with aliens, nothing like that. It's just way too far away. They're not. Even if they were, they'd probably just pass by. That's it. They would probably send droids or some sort of like observation technology. They wouldn't actually send a life form out to us, and that actually makes a lot of sense. So." Yeah, aliens coming over. Aliens ain't gonna come over, man. They're like, no, man, you guys are messed up. Your planet is Section 8. No, I ain't going there. Yes. Yeah, I'm not even worried about it. That was good. That was a good prompt. I like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that sounds fairly accurate. I mean, we are currently sending probes and drones to other places before we send the humans. Yeah, it sounds fairly accurate. All right, this one is, hold on, let me... journey of Snap using a Snap on Snapchat using AWS. So we'll let him talk it through, and then we'll take a look at the diagram.
Welcome to Decima Architecture. My name is Andrea, and I'm here with Saral from Snap. Hi, Saral. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So what do you guys do?
So Snapchat is an app that hundreds of millions of people around the world use to communicate with their close friends. Our focus is on close friendships, and we enable the fastest way to communicate by building features like AR lenses, maps, Bitmoji, and Spotlight.
Awesome. So today we're going to talk about the platform, which resides on AWS. I'm super excited. And let's look at the end-to-end workflow using Snap, sending a snap using Snapchat. This must be massive scale. I mean, how many users do you have and how many snaps do you deal with on a daily basis?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have over 300 million daily active users on the platform.
Okay, that's massive scale. Let's look at the life cycle. You know, I'm a user, I'm using iOS, Android. What's the flow? What's the first thing that happens when I send a snap?
Right. The first thing which happens is the iOS app uses our gateway, which is an EKS service which we have built to talk to the media delivery service and send the snap to CloudFront and persist it in S3, just so that it's closer to the recipient when they need it.
I see. Okay, so this runs on Elastic Kubernetes Service. How do you orchestrate this?
Right. So our MCS is the core orchestration service which we have. The next thing which the client does is, again, the client makes, once the client has persisted the media, it makes a request to the core orchestration service, which then checks the friend graph. The friend graph ensures that the sender actually has permissions to send the message to the recipient. Once the permissions check is done, then it actually persists all of the conversation metadata into our own database called SnapDB, which under the covers uses DynamoDB.
I see. So what made you choose to create your own SnapDB as a front end to DynamoDB?
Yeah, so we're talking about a lot of scale on DynamoDB, and we chose to build some higher level features ourselves, like transactions, TTL, as well as how to efficiently kind of deal with ephemeral data in our own layer. We also deal with incremental state synchronization so that we are not putting a lot of burden on DynamoDB, and it keeps our costs in control.
I see. So you're storing the metadata in DynamoDB, right? So what level of scale are we talking about here?
So we are talking about 400 terabytes of data, which we store in DynamoDB. And interestingly, we run nightly scans on DynamoDB, which run 2 billion rows per minute to kind of do various things on DynamoDB, including looking for friend suggestions or deleting ephemeral data as well. So we are very heavy users of DynamoDB.
Okay, so you do nightly scans just to make sure that it maintains the relationships and friends and everything.
Right.
Okay, so we talked about, the send snap. What about the receiving end? What happens?
Right. So the most interesting part about receiving Snap is it is very latency sensitive, right? Your friend wants to get the message as soon as possible.
Yes.
So the first thing the messaging service does is it looks up a connection ID, a server ID from Elasticache to get access to the persistent connection which a server has to the Android client or to any clients in the world, so that we can quickly push a message to that client. So we look up the metadata from the Elasticache, we find the server which this client is already connected to, and through that gateway, we basically send the message to the recipient.
I see. And then you retrieve the data as well, the image or video through and chat information through S3.
Exactly. So that media ID was persisted all the way through to Elasticache as well as DynamoDB. So we use that media ID to kind of get the information from Cloud.
Makes mostly sense. Now, this is massive scale. Like, can you give us some quantitative details of like what size cluster are you running? Just give us some numbers.
Yeah, we have over 900 EKS clusters running, and many of those clusters have over 1,000 plus instances, which makes this like a really heavy kind of service graph essentially.
Makes perfect sense. And how do you keep this at the low cost, high performance? I think you mentioned latency is hugely important on the receiving side, but also the cost.
Yeah, for sure. Like latency, when we moved to this architecture, we were able to reduce the P50, the median latency of sending a snap by 24%, which is a huge business impact for us. Secondly, in terms of cost, because we use so much compute footprint, we are always looking at things like auto scaling as well as using the right instant types like Graviton to keep our compute costs low.
That's fantastic. This is interesting architecture because you're dealing with massive amount of data, and you're cleverly kind of coming up with innovative ways with, for example, SnapDB to reduce latency and really make that user experience better, and then use of Graviton and others to keep the cost low. So thanks for walking us through this architecture.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for watching. This is my art.
All right, cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and shout out to TV307. He said, once again, was another one just passed SAA this morning. Understanding all this is crazy. He's right about one. Congratulations, but he is right about that. Like the fact now that you listen to them talk you through the diagram, and that you catch yourself being like, wow, I really can follow what he's talking about, and it makes absolute sense. So the level of knowledge absorption is a real thing as well. But that's all you.
Yeah. So TB307, congratulations. I'm glad you passed SAA. I know it's a big thing. It's a big thing for a lot of students. So honestly, congratulations. You did a great job. Thank you for taking the class and actually participating. Keep on going, all right? Don't ever give up, all right? Never. You can do it. And again, how many of these guys, a year ago, 18 months ago, didn't think they could do it, and now they're doing it, right? How a lot of these guys didn't even know what it is. So let's go ahead and let's think about this architecture. This architecture is actually very good. I like it a lot. Putting the EKS cluster up there in the media and having it interact with CloudFront and then S3 is actually very smart. Extremely smart way of doing things. They probably didn't talk about the encryption, but there's probably some encryption going on there as well. I assume there. The MCS communication with Elasticache is actually very smart as well. The SnapDB is a specialized DB, and it's using that as a front-end DB, and then it has a back-end DB with DynamoDB, and that's extensible, or that can be used in multi-regions. I think that's actually a fantastic idea. And then I think from the friend graph, same kind of idea. So this is a very good, practical, down-to-earth, and very scalable architecture. Students should definitely take notice on this. I'm actually looking at this and thinking, can I make an Armageddon based on this? Yeah, I think that should be Armageddon number 4.
So I'm basically handing out bad ideas, huh?
No, these are good ideas, Machismo.
No, I'm being tongue-in-cheek sarcastic.
I like it. I like what we have in there. I like this is good. Yeah.
Can you double down on the EKS cluster?
Okay. So, so basically that EKS cluster is it's Kubernetes. It's AWS's own form of Kubernetes cluster. It's very huge. You can extend it. Like it can expand greatly. It's massive. So he was talking about thousands of. TIQS, come on, man. Just think about how good you would be if you could make that. I gotta do it now. It's not gonna be hard. I'll make the class for it. I'll do the steps, and then you're gonna have. I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do this in what is it? AKS? No, GKE and EKS. So both in GCP and in AWS. I'll have 2 clusters, and then we'll have a link between the 2. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. So basically, guys, how do I say this? The cluster expands. It's really extensible. It's able to deal with 300 million users per day. So that's a really wonderful. So I'm just thinking, yeah. So what you need to do basically is make a template for the first cluster, and then you can just make more clusters based upon that template. It's actually a very easy thing to do. So yeah, TIQS, right? Because all you have to do is put the first cluster template into Jenkins, and then with DevOps, you just keep on rolling out more of them as they need to, and then they would just expand as necessary. So those your underlying EC2s or your VMs would expand as necessary. As scale is necessary, get more pods as necessary. This is a very resilient architecture. It's elegant too. We only have some services. I would assume they also have, for example, Event Bridge to get some SNS in there as well. I would also assume they also have some AI running, but they're probably not talking about that. They have an incident response in there. They have some, for example, they probably have image pattern. They have image analysis real quick to see whether or not they've got some pedos on there, pedos. So I would assume they have that first before it goes over the CloudFront. That would actually be a good usage of AI. So yeah, definitely going to be in there.
Oh yeah, it says these let me see that they're running 900 clusters with 1,000 servers each. That's massive.
Yep.
All right, cool guys. We're at the 1 hour 46 minute mark. Close to a wrap, man. That's we're almost yeah. Everybody said RIP my bank account. You said yeah, it's a nasty bill. Yeah.
It's not going to be so bad, guys. You can tear it down. So just a half hour, test it, and then break it down.
No, he's talking about the 900 clusters with 1,000 servers each.
Well, you got everybody using Snap like that. Like, okay. All you need to do is do one for you guys, my students. You do one local cluster, and then you do your Jenkins server with desktop Docker. So you don't have to have that. You have all your connections just with your basic Docker, which makes your life a lot easier. Okay, and then your repo can be on your computer if you want. We can use GitHub as well, so that's free. So that's not so bad. You deploy it for 30 minutes, test it out, and then tear it down. Not so hard. You only use one VM. That's all you would need. And then we can actually have AI go on there and do image matching, pattern matching. We can actually do that a part of Armageddon. And then we could actually do some image resizing. So, for example, I can say, this would be fun. You guys would like this. You take a photo, and then the photo goes into the EKS, and then it goes into Bedrock, and Bedrock takes a random, like there's an S3 bucket of 20 photos of Lizzo, and then it matches the best photo of Lizzo with you, and then it has a photo. It auto creates an image of Lizzo making out with you.
Oh, a couple photo. How nice.
Yeah, because then you have randomness, right? You want to have some randomness. You don't want it to be the same way every time. So take a photo of somebody, and then that person's kissing Lizzo. I think that would be great. You could do a lot with it. So I'm just talking all kinds of damage. Yeah. So thank you, Machismo. You just gave me the inspiration for Lab 4.
Bang, there you go. Bang, there you go.
I'm going to go write that down after this and do it. Yeah.
Well, I made the comment that this to you that this is episode 10, that this particular tech support podcast is taking on a life of its own. Even the content is kind of sort of making itself, which is crazy. And then I'll say one additional thing, that the serendipity that we got you here running the boot camp on the Sundays with the tech support podcast, but in real life the students are all over the place and all over the world, because I ran into someone who had just finished their Armageddon here in Columbia. He said he's been here. All he does is go to the gym and come back and then go to the gym. He goes to a salsa class and then comes back and works on Armageddon. And he had just finished up, I guess, with his group. That's why he was actually out at the restaurant to get something to eat and get some air. Because he's been down here, I think, for about 2 weeks. And he's just been down here, working on Armageddon, going to the gym. I think he goes to the gym like twice a day. But that's that. He's 25. So I ran into someone currently working on Armageddon right here in Columbia.
I think that's a special thing. There's going to be more. That's what I want. I want next year at this time, you got 150 guys like that. They're all working on SEER 1, SEER 2, doing massive like Kubeflow, machine learning, a bunch of projects like this. I think it's going to be great. So, you guys are all going to be suffering. Hell, Alexander! Now, come on, Alexander. Don't you want to make a cool app like that? Now they all hating on you. Come on, Alexander. You got to be loving. Don't you want to go through that? Don't you want to make a Snapchat app? I mean, come on, man. How about this? I'm going to put pictures of Chewbacca, which was my dog. Put 20 pictures of Chewbacca in S3, and then you do a photo, and then Bedrock is used to randomly have photos with you and Chewbacca together. I think that'd work. I think that'd be a great thing, and it's kept into a database, and you'd have multi-agentic there. So you have one agentic AI with a database, and another with a photo and analysis, and another generating the photo. Oh, that'd be some cool stuff, man. You'd be amazed. Look what you could do with that, bruh. Come on, man.
Oh, no news got jokes. He said machismo is the one dude in class that asked the teacher for more work. Oh, you a hater? Yo, that's funny. That's funny as hell. Oh, you get the full soundboard for that shit. Oh, y'all think hit the thumbs down. Yo.
Oh, come on, man. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, man.
Yo, that's mad funny, man.
I got all kinds of ideas right now.
Asking for extra credit. That's funny as shit. So yo, closing statements, Theo. What you would call it? Whatever you want the guys to know about. This is episode 10. Like I said,
okay.
I'm surprised we turned these out so fast. So yeah.
So again, thank you much, Machismo, for having me on your platform again. I love these conversations; they're really fun. Thank you for the inspiration for Armageddon 4.
I'm not gonna live that shit down.
I never even thought about that. I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I could actually do that. I know the design, so it's good when brothers get together and talk and share ideas. Because now look at the fun we have. So we're gonna have some guys in the summer in Cali, Colombia. They're probably gonna be at a taqueria someplace, right? And they're gonna be crying over Armageddon 4.
Well, I mean, man, that's no bullshit. You got guy. I ran into a guy right here in Cali, Colombia. He's been here, and he hasn't even. When I talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know where any places. I haven't been able to go out. I've been trying to finish up this Armageddon." So he's been here like 2 weeks, and pretty much doesn't leave his crib. Goes to the gym, gets something to eat. He's back at the. He's been back online working with his group.
Yeah, I think that's great. So, guys, wonderful. I like that you guys are doing this work. I like the amount of work that you're doing. Keep it up, and the future is yours, right? So, to the students who are listening, see what happens when you communicate. You get better ideas. You get inspiration. And I'm here communicating. I'm actually talking, and I get ideas, right? And that's what I want for you as my students. I want you to be talking to each other in class because that's where you're going to get your ideas from. Okay. Again, Machismo, thank you very much for being here. Keep it going. Keep on studying too. You're my student, so you keep on studying. I want to see you crush it. All right.
Yeah. I got to take mine in March. You're going
to be just fine. Go for it.
That'll be my second attempt. Well, I mean, after I ran into Josh. And he was like, "Yeah, I got my SAA like 4 months ago. Got the HashiCorp and an AI practitioner." I was like, "Damn, yeah, I just got out the Army." I was like, "All right, apparently I'm not trying as hard." We were making jokes.
Well, we all have our, you're here making podcasts.
Yeah. I'm officially a one-man media company at this point.
Yeah, so you're doing so. Keep on doing those podcasts. Keep on surviving out there, right? But good.
Yeah, guys. I'm glad you said something. I've been dropping the link, guys. We're still at the tail end of the fundraiser for the channel. We're still a little short our goal. Hit the Cash App if you can. We'll be back next Sunday with this one. And if all goes well, fingers crossed, we'll have the Sunday panel tonight. I got to check with my panel participants after this to make sure we can go on. Changes being made to the channel, as you can see, but we're still in the game. Hey, thanks for making time, Theo.
No problem. I'll talk to you again, okay?
All right, talk to you again.
Peace. Yeah.
Peace.